Hello everybody and welcome into some Monday Night Valorant. I am Cairo, joined by the wonderful Hazza. This is going to be a very quick intro as we are just about ready to get into game, Hazza.
Yeah, that we are. I'm very happy to be back. Feels like we've been here before, but I'm ready to do it all over again.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. I'm ready for this. I mean, every Monday night we get back in to watch some great teams, and we've got two teams coming straight up that we can introduce very shortly as we get into game.
That we do. Dunwoody Hawks Varsity and North Park Vikings, both teams that have a 5-0 flawless record. Only one of them can walk away with that and make it 6-0 by the end of this one. And it seems as if Dunwoody Hawks have left absolutely no time to waste here in terms of building up that advantage. They're up 3-1. And, well, we are on Ascent as our first map, something that we had touched upon, in previous times on the desk, I suppose you could say. And it is that Ascent is one of those maps that can be very 50-50. Lots of teams very comfortable on it. So winning out here will bolster the chances of one of the teams walking away with a result, especially when we consider who picked it. Not too sure, but yeah, always a big thing to be focusing on.
Yeah, well, the way that things are going at this moment in time, Hazza, we can somehow make a guess at what is going on in terms of the fact that, just unfortunately not able to pick up Song. Seems as if we have got North Park Vikings on a bit of an eco. The Marshall already firing shots, so towards that short area, Astwin's thinking about maybe locking in.
It's important to note here as well, Dunwoody Hawks yet to drop a map, so this would be the first time if that happens, and it doesn't look as if North Park Vikings are whittling away, because instead, the Vandal there comes through and finds a nice shot into mid. You're seeing they're playing this defense very reserved. Those deep line sidelines all the way back, and this double up into the short, which has already found a couple kills back.
Damage and Chewit finds on towards Inspire. It is looking like the Eagle. Barry was just trying to do some damage, but not anymore. Already trying to find this Omen. Going to use the From the Shadows, teleporting all the way on towards the B site. Spike going to be planted. 1 versus 3 already. The util being sent that way. Does have a Vandal to do the work, but 20 HP makes this Marshall seem like an op, but misses the first shot. Second maybe to do the business, but no. 0-point knife now, just misses out on the Omen. Still has that utility up, but not for any longer. Jello finds it, and that will be another round towards the Dunwoody Hawks Varsity.
Yeah, and I believe it is Dunwoody Hawks that are on the defense. I'm looking at the map veto here, and it says that Dunwoody Hawks have picked into this map, but it says they're starting on the attacking side. Not sure if that's necessarily true or not. We're going to just run with it and assume that it is Dunwoody Hawks that are defenders here. And the next map should be Haven, and if we go the distance, it'll end up on Pearl. So that is the rough analysis of just trying to break apart what it is we have so far.
Yeah, sorry, it is North Park Vikings on the defence right now. Jello, obviously. Yes, it is. Jello 7-1.
There we have it.
Doing very well here. North Park Vikings just continuing to... Oh, no, Phoenix. That's a lovely combo to come through and Inspire. Using out as that stimmy just to get themselves in towards shot and into a more defensible position.
Yeah, a little bit of investigative work from us there, just to remind you all that, yes, it is in fact North Park Vikings that are starting on the defenders' side. So, doing a good job at making it difficult for Dunwoody Hawks. Both these teams 5-0, an early test for them here. And as the trades come through, that's both of the Duelist players already off of the board. Both teams with the double initiator combo of Sova and KO, so they'll look to try and grab some back for themselves as they are rallying this move through towards B main.
Nice little wonderful dart. Oh, the double bounce, unfortunately not working out, but the information's here in terms of there is some presence destroying the dart. As the knife goes through though, just hits in towards stairs, and Fitz crew finding Ditto elsewhere. That was on towards main, I believe. No, it wasn't. It was all walking out of catwalk on towards main or B. They're going to have to either push in or push out. Lovely divide and conquer approach there by using the orbital strike, but nobody getting found out, nobody watching that main position. Sova firing off shot darts. Look at this time, Hazza.
seeing here, AZ Twins able to punish the overpeak, but there's barely any time left. Chewy getting another kill. Still one more player left on the site. Quickly dismantled and taken out. Inspire falls, and now it's a 1 versus 2.
KJ coming back in here. Fix Crew, the one to do it. The Eldron in pocket of Chewy, and here it comes out, gives it away, doesn't get the ping though, but certainly knows that the Sova is backside as all the utility comes through. Just Fix Crew think about potentially where the Omen could be, as they haven't given away their spot just yet, but well, there's the 2 players remain at the backside they will be playing to play off one another. There goes the Omen. Sova yet to swing. Here comes an Atlas just to deny the angle, but they push out of it, and Chewy wins. There we are, Dunwoody Hawks Varsity able to win out their second.
Yeah, and this is really nice to see. It's the second round in a row. Not quite breaking the trend just yet, but rather sticking to it, as North Park Vikings, the defending team, yet again, have to just remind you, are the ones to have found 2 rounds in the bounce every single time. Now forced on towards an eco, and that means that it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to try and find this one here. In terms of ultimates, you have the null command and the lockdown, but both are more reactive into a retake. And like you said, once those crossfires are established on the better weapons, you do favour Dunwoody Hawks to North Park Vikings. I'm so confused at this point, but I think you get the idea, right?
Oh, 100%. It's easy to get distracted, and as we see, invested in towards the B site. Nice null command as well, but that is actually from the attacker side, not the defender's side. They clear out blood, massive. Rocket just will be in that propeller on towards the team to get them forward. There's a lurker in towards mid. You don't worry about though that being the Sova. A couple of bullets being racketed off that door. Waiting to go through. Rocket holds the angle. Curveball not quite finding though, and goes through the wall. One time, not what you want. Chewy and Saber getting on the mat, and now Inspire on a late flank. Not going to get anything from this. Just the last play of the brick, and gets found out.
So one final kill and a flawless round, like you said, in the end there. Very nicely done by the attacking team. Navigating the map as you should, and going up against the eco, knowing exactly what is required of you in terms of just clearing out all of the space. Good mid presence as well, just constantly keeping their foot on the gas pedal. And yeah, that's something I think teams can often neglect, taking mid control, which is very important. You look at the setup here on the defending side from North Park Vikings as well, constantly that Killjoy alarm bot towards Pizza, and if you're not dealing with it, it means that they don't have to worry and can, you know, force those rotates to be a little heavier. Inspire heavy on the trigger and finds Rocket almost immediately.
Here.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're seeing similar setups come through every single round. Sober player on B, always good to try and collect some information there where possible, because as soon as you're out in the site, you're at risk, and A being the easier to retake, having both of those initiators posted up in B and mid respectively makes that easier of a task. Brimstone usually a decent anchor in and of himself, and you can already see the sky smokes being placed towards short time and time again, but Dunwoody Hawks will be grouping up for this B hit once more. They already have the turret for the initial contact, and will be breaking out that of the opposite pick.
30 seconds left.
Takes away. That's a very deep nano swarm. Just pushes Fix Crew off the angle. Second one destroyed though. The player's still not pulling the marker, pulling the trigger on the execution. They finally will though as they come through. Only the Brim Inspire just between a wall. Smoke the defender. Killjoy. Lockdown coming through. The flash not supporting quite well. It is Dunwoody Hawks. Unit Varsity to do the damage here as they start to move. You need to deny the plan, but you can't do so. Song just a little bit late there, does get a double kill on the left. That's easy Twins as unfortunately work out. The retake just that much better for North Park Vikings.
Ah, but you expect it to be at the same time, Kyra. They used 3 different ultimates there to to deal with the threat of B when you already have the players in position to take them out. So we'll have to see what effect that ultimate investment will have in the long run for them here, because it's going to take a while to bring them back online, especially the null command being 8 points and Fix Crew having used the lockdown, finding a couple kills to make it easier. And of course, if they can continue to do so, it won't be a problem. But yeah, not exactly sparingly there. Very happy to put everything on the line to be finding that round.
Placing alarm bot. Placing swarm grenade.
The investment, I guess, now looking to be in, I get the favour of Dunwoody Hawks Varsity with the ultimates that they can invest, especially with the fact that they are slowly starting to get in towards their ultimate cycle. It seems as if the Phoenix just holding from Heaven going to be in a very tough position if they are caught out. But no, it's not Heaven, it's Hell. And that's just the worst place of them all, as they've not cleared out Song. The Julius does the business.
Yeah.
The Phoenix coming up once again has her.
Now on this A defense, they've got 2 different mollies, both the Hot Hands and Incendiary, that they can use to just slow down the push to a walking pace and enable the rotate to come in. We're already seeing Fix Crew move in towards short, but eventually peel off. Has a nano for 2 of those 4 lanes, which are split up here as yet another kill is found. And all 3 players currently restricted to main as the Hot Hands will continue to hold them at bay. Looking low on ideas, and this isn't the first time that we've seen Dunwoody Hawks on their attacking side leave it down to the very last 15 seconds or so to actually make that push materialize.
Players just
30 seconds left.
out, just making the North Park Vikings think twice.
And
I think the feed just
yeah, I
froze
believe
for
it
a
has.
second.
But if we just sort of imagine for a moment, you have both initiators still up as things do suddenly rectify themselves. They've got some decent utility to be using. You have both of those regenerative pieces in the form of the Recon and, of course, the 0 point, as well as Song is just patiently holding onto this angle. It feels as if time has frozen and we're just waiting for that peak to come in. It has done. Some kills have happened and Song has, in fact, fallen, but there's no time left on the clock. North Park, or Dunwoody Hawks, I should say, leaving it a little bit too long, as they have done in rounds prior. And yeah, that will just be finishing things up.
Yeah, I think Dunwoody Hawks at this moment in time are really struggling in terms of what they can invest in the next round and just deciding to save up what they had. I think only 1 rifle is what's got through. Would have been a pretty decent, I guess, transfer, I guess conversion if they got, would have been at least 4 rifles looking at this round, but the ping's already coming out on towards that A main position has if you look towards the map, and I'm wondering if that means there's going to be a little bit of a brawl.
That it might be. Same familiar faces that you expect holding down from A main, of course. Both of those players, the Brim and the Phoenix, one of them already dropping, so he's found the entry, and yet again it's just that ice cold play as it sorts around. So we know where both of these teams are playing from now, right? It's North Park Vikings in the lead on Dunwoody Hawks map pick as they're trying to, make this retake happen.
Hunter's Fury coming through, just pinging away. I think there was at least a couple there caught in that last spark as the spike did go down. And with that being said, everybody getting in on the mix. It's Chewy to find Fix Crew. I mean, that's 3 people there. Block coming in as well. 1 player left, and it is Jello. And I think, are they going to try and combat? And from short, does have an operator, not the best to clear out the closed corners, has it? And obviously, at this point, yep, we are waiting, just still holding that angle.
Yep. Are they, aren't they? Only time will tell. Yet again, it's another angle held. And Jello should just be looking to go for the save angle here, the most mature of the decisions. And Dunwoody Hawks able to find yet another round. Looking at all the setup here as well, you have to say that North Park Vikings have done pretty well for what their comp is. That attacking side game plan is going to be just get as many orbs as you possibly can onto the Phoenix. If you're running in, either taking a kill, which is obviously the best of the 2 eventualities, or dropping plus getting that orb every single round, then you'll have the run it back 1 in every 3. And that is essentially how you've got to be playing it. It's the minimum baseline you need to be hitting. On the defense, a lot harder to do so because you're not going to be gifted those opportunities to get the same kind of early control, because on Ascent, the orbs do favor the attackers that much more. We've seen finally a rotating setup. The Killjoy now moving towards A, where the last 2 hits have been prepared for. Yeah, Jello just using this op to hold down mid.
Placing swarm.
Oh
Swarm grenade out.
god. Unfortunately, not able to get anything from it, but as the players slowly start to creep up on B main, this might be a little bit of a fake happening out on A, depending on where the spike goes, or if they do decide to commit from it. I mean, Dunwoody Hawks really playing with the extremities of both sides of the map. Has the Jet yet to dash in, but that's how the KJ utility is, and this is where things will start to get slightly uncomfortable if it does come to it. 0.95 towards the site. There is obviously the op holding on towards me. Maybe not the best idea to have Jello in this position because the flash won't be able to come out. But on the other side, Rocket with the op finds on towards Blur. Nice little quick scope. Everybody starting to dart towards this side of the map, and I mean consistently finding these frags. Unfortunately not able to find on towards Expire, or Inspire, maybe soon to Expire, depending on how things go, and the op really doing work.
Well, it was. Inspire does kill them, I think. And now it's Saber trying to just claw things back here as we're seeing the plant go down. 2 versus 3 player advantage for Dunwoody Hawks, and it does favour them looking at the position of Chewy as well, who should be capitalising on Inspire. Most likely. I mean, the setup is good. AZ Twins also has a nice position, and they do. Making it a 1 versus 3 and a Jello on that op yet again.
Oh. Lovely shot. Nice little peek. 2 points now out towards the CT position. It sounds like Jello has managed to survive against AZ Twins. Not able to capitalise. 1 versus 1 situation, but nope. On towards Mark. AZ Twins finds the kill and converts the round. Dunwoody Hawks varsity within 1 of their opponents.
Yeah, it's like being in school with one of those guessing games. You know, you ever had those like match of the day sort of comics when you were a kid? And it was like guess where the ball is, and there are a bunch of different circles and you have to guess.
Yeah.
I think, you know, just from that still, you would probably assume that AZ Twins wins it out. Jello taking that angle a little bit wide. The op now out of play. Will still be able to invest into what is almost a full set of rifles if you disregard Song, but with the run it back online, they may just be looking to cause some early pressure here and take some space away from Dunwoody Hawks. But that's just my guess. We'll have to find out.
I wonder what the American equivalent would have been to like match of the day. You know what I mean?
I don't know. They have like the NFL show here, right? I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure in NA you have to pay for pretty much every single TV program except for like NBC or something like that. I don't know if they have a sport channel. Maybe.
I think yeah. Okay. Fire kicking out towards C, but I guess you don't get paid for Twitch, but
yeah, that is true. I actually think I have the answer for you, Cairo.
Okay,
I think it's the scoreboard with Hudson JC and Kentucky Cars.
Don't remind me of that. Don't remind me of that. And Rocket reminded in Song of what's going on in this map. Now look at this. Remember, on towards the set, pretty even map, and Dunwoody Hawks looking to even it all out.
Yeah, Song instead gets the sweet release of death there. Not
30
quite able
seconds
to.
left.
Jello peeking out onto a flashed Rocket who pulses a shot in towards Squad. Oh, actually just sends himself inside the site with a Blade Storm. Quick 1-for-1 trade, but still
One enemy
Dunwoody
remaining.
Hawks the ones in the lead in terms of player numbers, and they will continue to add to that. Yet another 1vx scenario, this time onto the shoulders of Inspire. No lurk to worry about in mid, but you know the conditioning is there that a player would do so, and that worry may just force them to save, but you know goes for it, can't win out, and it will be a level half. On that note, I believe we will be going to a break because this one, I mean, while the players in game are having a decent time, I guess on both sides, as the scoreline is in fact level, making something out the madness, it's a little more difficult for us on our end. So we'll be going to a quick tactical break, but when we return, hopefully everything will be resolved.
Cool. Cool. Hello everybody, we're back in with the pistol round in action, just getting ready
Spike
to go
down
straight
A.
towards it. The spike already down and action and
One enemy remaining.
Game 2, and well look at this, it's already almost flawless here for the Dunwoody Hawks varsity.
Very, very clean stuff from Dunwoody. The exact response that you would have wanted. They've now found the last 4 rounds in a row, and this is where we start to see that legacy be built of one of the top teams in the Midwest Emergence division. Because you look at both these teams, right? They're both 5-0. Dunwoody Hawks coming in as the favourite, perhaps found themselves trailing, but a hallmark of a good team is being able to turn that result around, and they've got underway perfectly on this defender's side.
Seems the players already showing presence outside of A, even though the 0.9 is able to scan them. Saber though gets found out themselves. Nice little Marshall shot on towards that position, and now Dunwoody looking to react to that presence.
We saw North Park Vikings go for the 50% force, cloaking some of their powers. The hand wraps not coming off just yet. The extra baggage as Saber is just maintaining this position. Song has the hot hands to bring back some of that health. Of course, it's the signature ability of Phoenix, so you'll get it every round.
Placing
No reason
sentry.
not to go for something a little more aggressive if you can. What the comp is for them here, but yeah, damage trickling across the North Park Vikings side as they're testing peaks on all ends of the map, despite not yet committed towards either site, but slowly making its way on the approach to A.
Caution!
As Ditto was found on towards Fix. Oh god, Rocket. Finding on towards Jello. Ditto elsewhere.
One enemy remaining.
I mean,
30 seconds left.
just doing some
Flawless.
big damage. It seems if that's going to be a flawless conversion of the anti-eco hazard, meaning that as we go on towards this next round, things are looking tasty if you're a Dunwoody Hawks varsity fan.
There they are. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Placing
I'm
alarm
getting
bot.
hungry right now at the sight of this one, because while North Park Vikings, you know, they forced in some rifles here, and actually I'm very surprised at how good this buy is, all things considered. Dunwoody Hawks were winning the previous 2. No spike plants, a singular casualty. North Park Vikings have done very well for themselves, so I mean, obviously, 3rd round, you'd expect them to have that kind of weaponry, but it's just the fact that we saw a couple of, light investments like the Marshall in the previous. So is impressive. Ditto finds one on the Spectre, but immediately traded out.
Shutting them down!
Here we go, the lineup on towards the 0.9, but it's very, very deep on towards heaven, but it's not even caught much here. We are going to see his door closed, and Jello, a massive position in there, getting on towards shot, finding a frag as any of the players try to get on towards street. Now as the post plant looks to be settled in for the North Park Vikings, it's very, very good, but Jello not good on the fragging department, unfortunately. The last 2 remaining players maybe looking to just save up by the way that things are going, but no, places alarm bot to retake straight in. Time's getting low, hazard. The info dart is pinging away, but doesn't ping much. Block after someone will escape through the site and won't do so. Time getting low, and it will be this situation where it's defuse or don't, and it's looking like don't.
It's looking as if they don't really have an option. Saber trying to run through, but both players pile up on their exit to the site. Dunwoody Hawks fall, do decent damage to take 3 of those rifles away, but still looks to be enough credits to get a decent reinvestment here from North Park Vikings. The shy cash injection of the spike plant will always assist you in your efforts to do so. And in terms of the ults that have been built up here, one of those win conditions we said from their attacking side would be Song having to run it back online as often as possible. 3 rounds have elapsed, yet to have it in their clutches just yet, so maybe needing to prioritize those ultimate orbs a little bit more, but well on their way, as is a few others.
Oh, upon Rocket's hands. I mean, we've seen him already on the attacker side of top, something that is very difficult to get working. Strong though, not difficult. Get kills, the players try to get into one of these. That's a complete fake here. But
Brilliant.
Dunwoody Hawks still cutting them down.
Yeah, fake it or don't fake it. If you overcommit the amount of players that you have towards the other side of the map, then it can be costly, and we've already seen that player advantage. It's a 4 versus 3, make it a 4 versus 2. Rocket has probably the perfect name for someone who's so good with a sniper rifle, because they are just sending these players to another dimension. The spectator screen, to be specific, as Dunwoody Hawks come into this retake with twice the player numbers, and both of them locked out in main.
Prepare for hellfire!
It seems as if we are going to get the Phoenix going all the way through.
player
Saber just that much better. No, this is looking like a pretty decent round, although the line up there tight, very low. Can they get on towards the spike? No, they can't. Inspire clutches up.
Oh my goodness! Inspire from beyond the grave. The slow burn incendiary clutches it out with 2 kills. Very nicely done on the lineup. We saw half of it already come through, and it was so close for Chewy to bring that over the line. But now these are the moments where, when I said before that Dunwoody Hawks look to be doing a decent job for themselves, winning those consecutive rounds and getting the ones that you would expect off the back of the pistol, have now put themselves in a little bit of trouble and need to make sure that that mental game is perfect if they are to escape this slump and close out what is their map pick.
dead!
Oh, Song though, as they try to bust out, as do get found. And, all the teams, all the players on either side getting able to frag out. Spike going down now, and North Park Vikings in full control. It seems if it is going to be a main-sided retake though, Hazard, as they have just seen Jello escape in towards the depths of CC. The bullets fired out. Ditto though gets on towards their opposite number 2 in towards the site. Make that 3. Apologies, not knowing my numbers. Can't count. It's the British education system, but how is the American student
Last
system?
player standing.
It's very, very good. Song now on towards the last player. It's unpredictable. Can he match the efforts? No, he cannot.
No, he cannot. And North Park Vikings come out on top. Clean shots from them, 3 rounds in a row. While it was Dunwoody Hawks eco, a half buy, a few guns here and there, sparingly put forward. Now things are starting to look that bit more worrying, because a lead has been carved out and they have an opportunity from which to build it further here. Economy on a knife's edge for Dunwoody. I mean, we're not even seeing full shields on all of those North Park players.
Placing swarm grenade.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. You've got a lot of ults very close to the attacking team, so I want to see them prioritize orb control just a little bit. It seems as if that has been denied by Dunwoody in both A and B main, both of the extremities, with some early defender presence.
A couple of shots being fired off, a couple of volleys, but nothing quite hitting the net. As it seems if that spike being outside of B and the players rotating, you could only think there is one thing.
Yeah, I mean, it usually does, right? And with the setup here from Dunwoody, it's interesting. You've got the Killjoy playing towards A, the site you usually look to retake with the lockdown. And now coming into this B retake, getting the same kind of value will be difficult. You see the investment is actually just to try and take as many players down with him as possible. Only ends up being 1, but that is the Hunter's Fury off the ball at the very least. Orbital Strike in play yet again, and another incendiary for Inspire. Could we see similar scenes? That is yet to pan out.
Prepare for hellfire!
Just didn't die, and it denies a lot of space as well, but will distract them out where
Last
the push is
player
coming from. The
standing.
players are
One enemy remaining.
It's 2 versus, oh my god, Inspire!
Protein shake.
Inspire with a huge three-piece. The stairs belong to them, and Dunwoody Hawks go tumbling down, banging their head on the way out the door, as that is double digits now for the Vikings. They have arrived and plundered a result ever so nearly here from Dunwoody, who are looking second string. Both of these teams 5-0, but yet to drop a map, could be bested on their home turf.
Could be, certainly
Keep it
could,
cool.
Hazard.
That's how
They
you
certainly
survive.
look as if they are in position to
Placing
do
alarm
so.
bot.
I mean, North Park Vikings have came out the blocks here already, though they are going to get caught out. They tried to clear the angles, the Drew comes through with a figure, and that is a real sting. What a massive shock dart to come through, and it's Saber just from behind on logs.
Placing swarm
Another
grenade.
shopping
Swarm
merchant
grenade
in this lovely
Placing
place.
swarm
Daniel
swarm
Slum
grenade
doesn't quite get the
One
damage in
enemy
time, but the
remaining.
blank does, and Ditto would rock it through it. There's only one player left, into towards Maidens Inspire. We've seen them clutch up before, but there won't be much clutching here.
Yeah, the Stingers sing song out of the server in that situation. Dunwoody Hawks just immediately clamp down towards tiles, understanding the rhythms and flows of this game, as North Park Vikings have so often prioritized it as a home base from which to work in the previous few encounters. And yeah, just like that, swept off their feet. Incredibly nicely done. And if
Placing
we
swarm
see the
grenade.
same kind of setup come from them here, it could be an exact repeat of the previous round. The Killjoys even rotated onto B to make this more difficult right now. They're going to go for it either way.
I feel like the effort from Blood there, Hazard, just trying to spam through with the classic, unfortunately, and there is at least medium pen needed for that to be the case. Oh, goodness gracious, they're all trying to get in and try and get a little bit of damage, and there's a lot of damage being done there.
Well, actually, Cairo, I think you'll find it's heavy pen, but yeah, the classic,
Oh,
not going to be
God.
able to.
Do it there. Ditto in the corner, Fix clearing him and clearing out his brains as well. Not too much on the KO, I imagine. Would just be some spare parts, but
Impeccable
somehow Song has not cleared Saber, neglected to do so, and that brings us back to a 3 versus 3, one where Dunwoody Hawks have a serious health advantage.
Oh, it could be that hot knife through
Yeah.
butter situation, has it, and Rocket
well.
certainly looking to be that hot knife. 2 players left, and they are going to make their way all up towards glass window, as Jello just does a little bit of dance.
30
Look at
seconds
those
left.
feet moving.
One enemy remaining.
Time. The KO just through the window, almost like a horrible person watching through. Although Rocket does the damage.
A horrible person.
I didn't mean that Jello's a horrible person.
Would
I
you-
tried to go for something. I realised it was not the place, not the time to say it.
You know what? Yeah,
I very
I would have
quickly switched. I
usually
couldn't-
said,
I
would you
couldn't-
like to expand on that? But I think we'll leave it there.
No, leave it.
But yeah, as you can see, Dunwoody Hawks do in fact pick up the round. Rocket on hot
Need a
form,
drop.
like you said that. Oh no,
Thanks.
I didn't mean to. I
buys
didn't
into
mean
an
the Jello.
operator
No,
as well,
that's
and
terrible.
yeah, we'll once again be shooting for the stars, already hitting the heights of 20 kills coming out the back of that round, and Yellow keeping time, but catches a little too much. And
Too suppressed.
Doing the work, a nice big spray from Jelly does the work instead, and now as they try to get up here, work, and they see, oh no, Rocket just getting caught out. Unfortunately for the side of the North Park Vikings, the Jet just not getting caught out by a fragment pulse. They're looking to try and get through. Rocket with a pulse of their own, a pulse from the AWP.
it's on to Jello yet again, now a 4 versus 4. But looking at the ultimates here from North Park Vikings, even without that kill, they're in such a good position. You have the Hunter's Fury and Orbital Strike to just deny any defense onto the spike, and that's not even considering the additional utility in the form of those nanos, which you have. Chewy at the double onto Song, but yet again, the stall reigns supreme from North Park, and this should be yet another round.
Rocket with a massive kill on towards Fix Crew. I mean, that's going to stop anything getting through towards the next round, at least forcing to buy up. Dunwoody Hawks didn't lose too
drop.
much there, and
Thank you.
can't
Need a
potentially
drop.
get a buy on towards Ditto as
Thank you.
well. Things are a lost situation there for both teams. It means they can almost just go again.
Yeah, looking at the setup here from North Park Vikings as well. Yeah, they're taking the site. The only thing that is stopping this from being almost a perfect attack is how they're choosing to deal with Rocket, and perhaps the utility usage a little less than desirable, as we see the 0 point fly out, claim some information onto market, and that will give them the safety that is required to take that control, but no capitalization off the back of it. And that is a point that I just want to hark into a little bit more, making sure that they're doing the most with the util that they have to take that space away and find a way to avoid the operator of Rocket, who is currently on the other side of the map, so it's not something to worry about for just the moment. But Ditto, playing from the contact of the turret here, could have his hands full in just a moment.
Well, the hands at this moment in time not being used. Potentially a hot hands could move Ditto, which seems to be the case. The info dart just peeks out for a second. Careful now. Gives you a potential idea. That's perfect.
It actually
has. Oh no. Oh no. That's so unfortunate.
Oh no.
Oh,
and Ditto's still not bought into this though. Ditto still hasn't bought, so they don't know if he's here or not. And they're actually just not going to clear it. The peak hasn't come through.
30 seconds left.
It finally does, and Song gets punished.
That's unfortunate for Song, not placing the util in the right situation and get punished for it. Shows you what the margins are like when it comes towards Valorant. And well, the margins here, the fact that it's 4-1 and there's only one player being through. Unfortunately for Rocket, not able to capitalize. Very, very aggressive.
10 seconds
Does
left.
get punished for it. All the players now trying to rotate through from the
Spike
shadow
planted.
from AZ Twins just to cut that distance quickly. But the players are already set up in good post-plant positions.
And look at the flank coming through. It being the battle of the Killjoys. Who wins out? It's Saber this time around with a quick slice down the middle.
One enemy remaining.
Still watching on from the corner, finding 3. AZ Twins trading that one out, but not in full. Hunter's Fury and Orbital Strike perhaps a little too early, not able to get that first ping as well. This is ridiculous how quick they've put both of these ults in, and there's enough time, would have been at least, for AZ Twins to get the stick if that had been the case, but Incendiary to follow up, no mistake made about
Match
it.
point.
North Park Vikings, one away, map point on their opponent's pick.
I mean, can you call it your opponent's pick as well? Has no disrespect to Dunwoody Hawks, but as I said, I mean, how many times throughout life or throughout Valorant have you seen both teams be very
Placing
capable
swamp
of taking it? It's almost
Placing
like
swamp
split in a
grenade.
way that every team always ends up on overtime somehow, or at least to the maximum regulation. I very rarely see a bad ascent.
Yeah, we're just one round shy of going in full distance of 24 rounds inside the regulation right now. North Park Vikings just moving through main. And Song not going to make the same mistake twice. This time the hot hand hits its mark. But immediately, Rocket finds the target of Song's head through the smoke.
Oh, we are going to get the spam coming through. The Hunter's Fury, though, just destroys the lockdown. That's about the massive...
Okay, well, Cairo, it just... Oh, he's back. I believe Cairo's
Hello?
back.
Hello? Can you hear
He
me?
is, in fact. Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. Go on then. You had a point that you were willing to share with us, and I would just love to hear what it is.
I don't know I didn't even realise I dipped out. The call was still working.
Yeah?
But do you know what? The way that things are going
30
right
seconds
now,
left.
in terms of how North Park Vikings
Yeah,
are,
Valorant
I wonder
played-
if they...
Scanning ahead.
Valorant played at a fast pace. It's already expired. Oh, we're straight into the execute card. Look at the Killjoy util.
It's massive, Hazard. It's almost a perfect time. And look at Dunwoody High.
10 seconds left.
Here. Oh, it's
Spike
unfortunate.
down, B.
Oh, that's massive. They need to get a spike down. There's only 2 seconds
Last
to go,
player
but they can't
standing.
do it. It will be a Dunwoody
It's all
Hawks
over.
Varsity High round. And that is 12-11.
We will be going the distance, Cairo, at least inside of that regulation period. You hinted at a possible overtime, and I feel as if it is almost damned to happen at this point. Timeout coming through from North Park Vikings. First one that we've seen so far this game. If we're neglecting the sort of little break that we had halfway through, right? A chance to bring out the oranges and get some extra vitamins on and really help bolster these teams' mental. But yeah, right now it is that one final opportunity. You get an extra timeout coming into overtime. I doubt that we'll see too many invested, but who knows? What would you be saying right now if you were in the North Park Vikings camp? Where have they gone right? Where have they gone wrong? We've seen a lot of late executes. I'm willing to bet that might have some involvement.
Yeah, they do really like to keep the executes towards the latter stages of the half. I do like the fact that they keep trying to play with the Dunwoody Hawks' minds, Hazard, the way that they're pushing both sides of the match. But, I mean, we've not really seen much of a prioritisation towards mid, something that maybe could catch the Dunwoody Hawks off guard. But while North Park Vikings have called a timeout, something else to talk about, Hazard, is Dunwoody Hawks also have a timeout because of that. And they would have been talking to their coach, and I wonder what they'd be saying.
They'd be saying, just let AZ Twins set you up for success. While all of this has been going on, blink and you'll miss it, don't blink and you probably missed it anyway. The guy has 23 assists.
Is that from finishing his dinner or not finishing? Oh, sorry, is that from
No,
not finishing his
I
dinner
mean,
or
it
setting up
has
with
to
the
be
paranoia?
these brilliant dark covers. You can see the one-way place towards A main here.
Yes.
The paranoia
all
usage
filtered
as well in tandem. I mean, how many times has a player been blinded and taken out? A fantastic performance. And I think you have to lean that into what the retake looks like here as well, because you've got to set up on B minimal in many ways, as you're just shy of a singular nano swarm, but maintaining short presence is going to be so huge, as Dunwoody Hawks have decided to just fully gamble a rotate here and give it up. Perhaps overzealous, but maybe they'll even return before the execute comes through. I have absolutely no idea. Smoke's finally placed, but we have to be looking at that lockdown.
And will they continue to make that even larger? There's even a lockdown invested, Hazard.
Last player standing. 30 seconds left.
Spike stuck
Spike
in no
down
man's
A.
land. And well, unfortunately for Fitz crew, is going to be even now after all regulation. Ascent has a
Switching
you can't
sides.
distinguish between the two teams
Overtime.
in regulation, and will be overtime.
It will. Another 3 assists for AZ Twins on that round with the dark cover. Just really inhibiting the vision of those players coming out through main. Would have liked to have seen a little bit more utility and perhaps coordination from North Park Vikings on their push there, because it felt as if the players were sort of drip feeding into the site one by one, and the trades not being played, enabling Dunwoody Hawks to bring themselves back into this game. Have to remind ourselves that they were down 4-1 on that first half, reset into a 6-6, and now a similar story here, as from 2 potential map points on their opponent's pick, North Park unable to convert and given an additional opportunity for the favourite in this game to run away with it.
Already the players are rotating very, very quickly as AZ Twins now looks to work in through mid. The players though, just as the engagement's been taken, Song just misses out. It's the dark steps, but as elsewhere, Spike is heading down in towards the site. Finally, Rob is able to get 2 massive kills. Advantage taken by Dunwoody. Spike goes down. But where's the rest of the players? They're nowhere near the site.
You cannot give these guys an inch. I think really the positioning of the rest of these players is somewhat superfluous, because they're holding so aggressive. They have each other's backs. Saber's even found in another one on the spam, and because it's the Killjoy player that's dropped, it's now enabled Ditto to just punish
One
the
enemy
back
remaining.
line. As the smoke evaporates, so too will the remaining forces, it seems. Stuck in the corner, Jello drops, and Dunwoody Hawks sit on the edge of finding
Switching
yet
sides.
another map.
Match
Still yet to
point.
drop a single one so far in their campaign for NECC Emergence. North Park Vikings bring through another timeout.
There's a massive timeout indeed here, Hazza, because, well, they'll need to somehow rally their way back. Remember, North Park Vikings did do pretty well on their attack in the first half, but it has been a long time since they've done so. And it's also something that potentially they'll have to try and jog their memories about. If I'm remembering correctly.
That it will. Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
of
I'm
course,
wrong.
Of course. No?
Yeah, I think I am. No?
Are you? I don't know, Cairo.
so.
You're delusional as ever. We'll have to see how this one
me
goes.
honestly,
To be fair,
yes.
I mean, while you may not have hit the nail on the head there, you seem to be a bit of a psychic. You said we might see overtime. Do you now favour Dunwoody Hawks to run away with it? If history is to repeat itself, giving these guys a little bit of extra time to mull over previous rounds has actually been more at the deficit of North Park Vikings. How would you try to remedy the attacking half, which they struggled to bring it over the line in prior?
I think it's also you've got to remember the fact that, like, I think when it comes in towards this, if you look towards Dunwoody Hawks, you do have a bit of momentum. I think at the same time, I mean, there is plenty of things that can go on, and I think in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's the worst situation in the world to be in for North Park Vikings. You are on ascent, you are on attack, and you can take the onus to go and do the business yourself.
We do have Dunwoody Hawks with the same setup as last time, but we've seen Rocket
Smoke's
actually
down.
join in on A, actually just burn through an updraft.
Dim beacon here.
A reason left unexplained, but I think it's better that way as we're seeing yet again North Park Vikings held at bay. They continue to slow things down, but Saber has found the first kill and will look to add to it instead. Chewy, the next up to the plate, delivering a result.
Player
Straight
standing.
in, finding one, but now at a disadvantage. Ditto has to clutch the 1 versus 2.
Spike planted.
That's going to be massive. I mean, at the same time, we talk about North Park Vikings. They had the onus on themselves, and they've really taken their onus in this round. But these two players at the back side once again, and this is a perfectly, I mean, normal clutchable situation. But it means that Ditto has the read, and certainly seems to be
have
the
no idea.
advantage. A peek out just there, through, and the ultimate coming in as well.
It's a frustrating scenario
Switching
there
sides.
as well.
Overtime.
For Ditto having the flush set of utility, 0.2 flashes and a fragment, but just fluffs the lines in the situation instead of clutching it out as you would perhaps expect. I mean, still 1v2, difficult scenario, but definitely capable being one of the few players in the 20 kills club. We go more than just the 26 rounds and find ourselves in overtime number 2.
Is that the player slowly again? It's just touching those extremities, touching exactly what they can get to manipulate the map. The Dunwoody Hawks obviously trying to somehow get in towards the site. The Keo just watching catwalk, waiting for the KJ to peek out. Jello, remember, I mean, this is going to be a massive point of incision, but it's not going to be an incision. It's just going to be a little skirmish. The Nano Swarm pushes Jello off of that angle, and Songwell pushes Chewy in towards the next round. Just spamming out, and I mean, it's not no longer spam if the bullets go straight through the head.
Got here.
Song finding 2 kills on the round, very impactful, and these remaining players have barely any space from which to work. Inspire on an operator, just neglecting their utility entirely, forgetting about the role of the role of the Brimstone, saying, you know what, doesn't actually matter. Sometimes
One
you see a
enemy
controller
remaining.
player pick up an op, but
Spike down
this
A.
half, not the precedent. Jello moving away, 1v4.
30
To
seconds
clutch
left.
out if Dunwoody Hawks then will find themselves contending with yet another map for their opponent. And it will be exactly
Shown again.
Switching
I mean,
sides.
momentum now has a 2
Match
rounds in a row.
point.
Maybe he can make it a 3. They do have to move on towards the attack to do so. And everything reduced to, I guess, 5,000 credits and 3 ultimate points off your ultimate.
We're seeing Dunwoody Hawks on their defender's half, not buying into the operator at all. One of the few mainstays, I think, in terms of how they were playing it. And just looking at what the setup was from them last time around, when you had Ditto posted in Wine and then Rocket playing that initial contact from A, I really liked it, but they sort of peeled away, ended up being this B execute. And the conditioning is definitely there from North Park Vikings. Dunwoody Hawks should fully be expecting this 1-2 materialize, but we still have two players top mid, and they can try to punish this aggression that Rocket is trying to make happen.
Players already looking to dip off of the angles. Easy Twins just pinging off, maybe potentially where we could be some of those players. Tile's a big place that we always see North Park Vikings try to push in from, but Easy Twins has been found out. That's big damage there. It's the Shock Darts that are doing the damage. And it seems the damn Easy Twins will get caught out by a 0-point knife. Again, they can't TP out now. There's plenty of pings onto the situation. Rocket just holding as if anybody tries to get aggressive. And, well, there's the aggression coming through. Shock Dart shot out in panic. And now that's going to be a big bit of utility potentially wasted.
Yeah, we saw both the recon and the 0-point come out there, and unless you're an aim lab grid shot goal, definitely breaking both and really compromises the positioning, but Chewy still able to get one at least.
Last
Rocket
player
on the
standing.
rotate, but North Park are quicker on the trigger finger. 3 versus 1, another clutch scenario for Saber. Couldn't do it last time, and the odds are very much stacked against them here. The odds wouldn't have favoured North Park Vikings to take this, as Dunwoody are yet to drop a map, but we might finally see it happen.
Attackers win.
Oh, Hazard, that was a very close one, and I mean, the Vikings, they were just that much better. An invasion in towards their opponent's pick and being able to pick that one up.
That they were, right? And finally, we see Dunwoody draw blood. I think if there was any series that it would have happened in, it would have been this one. Both teams 5-0, having played the previous 5 weeks or so, and yet to lose, right? And yet to even drop a map if you're in their perspective. But lots of credit has to be given to North Park. While the first time out that they invested didn't actually work out, and then quite frankly went the opposite, we saw them look a lot more coordinated in those last couple rounds of overtime, and it was all that they needed to steady that ship, bring it over the line, and now have a map advantage going into their own pick, which will be Haven. One where looking at that greater map presence is going to be a lot more important in terms of rotates, with the 3 sites and whatnot. But we will be throwing over to a quick 5-minute break. When we return, we'll have that second map for you.